Good evening, I'm Nikki Project, and on ESPN today we bring you an update on the New England Patriots Deflategate scandal. A locker room attendant for the New England Patriots tried to introduce an unapproved special teams football in the last month's AFC Championship game. The same game at the center of the Deflategate allegations, four sources familiar with the investigation told ESPN reporters. Ted Wells, the attorney hired last month to do an investigation into allegations the Patriots intentionally used under deflated footballs on offensive plays in the first half of that game against the Indianapolis Colts. Interviewed Jim McNally, the attendant assigned to the officials' locker room. McNally has been in charge of the officials' locker room at Gillette Stadium since at least 2008. In the first half of the AFC Championship game, reports show McNally tried to give the unapproved football to an alternate official who was in charge of special teams footballs. Those footballs are also known as K-balls, or short for kicking balls. Footballs are inspected and measured by NFL officials in their locker room before they can be approved for in-game use, before each and every NFL game. The K-balls are used for special teams and not by the offenses of other teams. A special mark is stamped on each ball to approve for use on offensive possessions as well as the K-balls used on special teams, to ensure only properly inspected and approved footballs are used in that game. Walt Anderson, the referee for the AFC title game, had personally inspected and marked each of the footballs used in that game. Greg Yett, the alternate official, became suspicious when the football handed to him by McNally was not properly stamped with the official marking used by the NFL. Not only was that suspicious, but why was an official's locker room attendant on the field when locker room attendants aren't responsible for ball handling? Yet immediately radioed up to the game's press box to NFL Vice President of Game Operations, Mike Kenzel. Kenzel personally went down to the officials' locker room during halftime of the AFC Championship game to check the game balls himself. Both McNally and Yett have both refused to comment to reporters on the incident. On January 26th, it was reported that a locker room attendant for the Patriots allegedly took a bag of footballs from the officials' locker room to a restroom for a couple minutes before heading back to the start of the field. It is unsure if McNally is the same locker room attendant and person of interest in this report. The Patriots, who won the Super Bowl over the Seattle Seahawks on February, came under scrutiny prior to the AFC Championship game after the reports from the Colts alerted the NFL during the regular season that the Patriots may be using under-deflated footballs. Kenzel was said to have personally checked the size of the footballs and found that 11 of the 12 footballs were deflated by either 1 or 2 pounds but reinflated to the league required level before the start of the second half. On a press conference Monday, Patriots coach Belichick was baffled by the accusations.
I believe now 100% that I have personally, and we as an organization, have absolutely followed every rule to the letter. And I just feel that on behalf of everyone in the organization, everyone that's involved in this organization, that we need to say something. So I've talked to and gathered a lot of information from members of our staff. I have talked to other people familiar with this subject in other organizations, and we have performed an internal study of the process.
As the investigation is ongoing, we here at ESPN will keep you updated. Next week, there's to be a press conference held with both head coaches to discuss the issues. Now to your sports updates with Mike O'Donnell.
Nikki, this is Mike O'Donnell with your sports updates for the night. First off, in breaking news, Chris Bosch will miss the rest of his season as he suffered severe blood clots in his lung. The injury is not career-threatening as well as life-threatening. However, it will end Bosch's regular season and the Heat's regular season and playoff push. Here now is a picture of Chris before surgery going into the hospital with his son. And now to recap the NBA last night. The Bulls took on the Washington Wizards in Chicago. Derrick Rose led the way, scoring 30 and having 8 assists, as well as Joakim Noah grabbing 13 boards as the Bulls D managed to hold off the Wizards for a 197 win. Despite John Wall having 35 points, the Wizards struggled come crunch time to end the game. In the West, the Golden State Warriors took on the Los Angeles Clippers. Steph Curry hit 6 threes on the way to a 109-105 win. finally, the Dallas Mavericks faced off against their in-state rival, the San Antonio Spurs. Coming off of Monte Ellis' 38-point performance, the Mavericks came out on top 99-93. Now in the NHL, the Capitals went on to beat the Rangers, as well as the Boston Bruins, coming out on top of the Penguins 2-0. The Blackhawks took on the Minnesota Wild, and after a final shootout, the Blackhawks came away with the win 3-2.
Looked like Brizgalov knew what Hossa was going to do here, Pat, but just Big Hoss fires this thing right through. Isn't able to absorb that.
Check out tonight if the Wild can avenge their loss to the Blackhawks as the teams face off tonight on ESPN at 7/6 Central. In other headlines, the NBA trade deadline saw 37 players traded to new homes. This is one of the highest percentages in league history, and tonight you'll be able to tune into ESPN to see those teams in action, see if the Heat, Celtics, and Thunder can put their new pieces into place and come away with it. In the NFL, Marshawn Lynch has filed for a patent on his infamous Super Bowl Media Day rant, where he answered reporters' questions all with, "I'm just here to stop." Finally, in other NFL news, the NFL Combine saw a record set by UConn quarterback Byron Jones, who recorded a 12-foot 3-inch broad jump.
On that, and how about 44.5? Watch where his feet ends up. Oh my gosh, he keeps going.
That is ridiculous, man.
Can't wait to watch him run the 40.
Man, and he hurt his shoulder. He only played 6 or 7 games, I think, this year because he had a season-ending shoulder injury. He's a guy that.
As MLB opening day draws near, the Los Angeles Angels will likely be without outfielder Josh Hamilton as he suffered another relapse. This one involving cocaine and alcohol last offseason. His penalty is yet to be handed out by the MLB. And finally, as far as the MLB, Alex Rodriguez reported to the New York Yankees camp on Monday following his season-long suspension. He arrived in Tampa, Florida 3 days ahead of schedule, and he was welcomed by a crowd of cheers as he reported to his first workout. That's all for tonight. See you back here tomorrow at ESPN. Have a great night.